What's up,
Hello,
Grace?
everyone. Hey, Jack.
Hey,
What's going
everyone in the
on?
chat. What's going on? The title of our lovely show. Um, what's up, you guys? Happy Friday. Always a
Woo!
pleasure to talk to you guys. This week, we are talking hot takes about content creation. Grace and I are both content creators in one way or another, marketers as well. So we're going to be giving you guys all of our hottest takes for the trends in 2023, our predictions, and more. Where are you guys coming from? Let's start with that, though. Let's ease into it.
Also,
Where
it's
are you
Friday.
guys watching from?
I just realized.
Oh, do you believe in any of that stuff?
No, but if something does happen, then I will.
Okay,
But for now.
noted.
Also, first episode since we've been back in 2023, which is kind of why we decided to do this. Thought it would be a good starting point for the year to just maybe we could do an episode in a year from now and be like, did any of this come true? That'd be interesting.
Ooh, that would be fun. Firstly, I want to ask all of you guys before we dive in, put in your hot takes in the chat if you have any for 2023, social media related. Yeah, what's on the 2023 bingo card? We want to know what are your hot takes for 2023. We can discuss some of those while we also discuss some of our own. Yeah, while you're doing that, I'm gonna just share with you guys what exactly the categories of hot takes that we're talking about. So, hot takes for 2023 social media edition. So we're going to be talking about 4 categories in today's hot takes. We're going to be talking about social media platforms and features, talking about the actual platforms themselves. Did any die? What types of content will be successful? Which platforms thrive? We're talking about AI. What will be its uses? What will be its limitations? Things. Oh, I just realized all the text underneath says the same thing. No worries. Also, creator monetization. How will creators make money? And content creation. What will change about how creators and teams make content? We're doing the 4 buckets and talking about our hot takes for these.
Sweet.
Yes. I'm the biggest bird. I'm the biggest bird.
All right. Honestly, that's a hot take.
Yeah, honestly, not sure what I think about it, but I can't prove you wrong. Cool. Grace, do you want to start us off with a spicy take?
Okay, yes, let's do it. So we're starting first category, social media platforms and features. I will say to preface, I'm not sure how hot some of my takes are. I feel like some of them are more like, okay, yeah, that like logically makes sense and most people would agree, but we can assess one by
I'll
one.
disagree just because to make it hot.
Okay, so here we go. What are we doing? So first one, I will say, in terms of social media platforms, I think that TikTok is going to introduce longer videos, specifically going up to 60-minute videos, which seems like a lot. That's an hour of footage for one video. Right now, TikTok is at, I think the limit is like 10 minutes. So any one video could be up to 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to happen just because every single year they've been increasing their length. They started at 15 seconds like years ago. They went up to 1 minute. Then they went up to 3. Now they're up to 10. So the trend just goes in that direction. And I think they're being successful at it. Like, it's not like they introduced 10-minute videos and it flopped, you know, like people are actually making 10-minute videos.
Yeah.
And so I think they're kind of like, some of the logic is like, well, why wouldn't people not like 60-minute videos? You know, TikTok relies on watch time, so might as well just introduce it. I think it also ties into the creator monetization a little bit of like, they're trying to, you know, have more sustainable payouts for creators. And one of the ways to do that is with ads, which we've seen with YouTube. So I think that could be like a piece of their puzzle too for that.
Totally.
What do you think?
Yeah, I say W to this take because Agreed. I mean, I think there's literally no harm because if a video just isn't performing well at 60 minutes, they just won't share it. Like they won't promote it. So there's like really no harm. Also, we have a comment that says when Twitter just rolled this out. So yeah, why not? Hello, Dion. What's good? Yeah, I think this take makes a lot of sense. And it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder if we'll see like TikTok opening up potential for like horizontal video, like if people will be more comfortable watching a 60-minute video this way, horizontally, and if they'll allow that.
That's true. That's true.
Because then people won't have to like repurpose an entire, like if they're posting it on YouTube, they won't have to repurpose the entire thing.
Yeah. Do you think it's a spicy take? I feel like it's almost like a, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little inevitable. It's not super spicy.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Maybe mine is spicier, but maybe not. I don't know at this point. It seems like maybe 6 months ago this would have been spicier, but I don't know if this is not spicy anymore. But my hot take,
yes,
BeReal dies.
Whoa.
BeReal is over.
Interesting.
Yeah, BeReal is done. I just don't see it. I don't see the vision for BeReal. It's been copied so much already. It's not shipping out new features. It's not really like, I feel like the whole concept of it being like the realist platform is not really true. Like people are still like waiting to take their photos and posting them posed, and like the whole concept doesn't make sense to me. I don't think they're innovating, and I think BeReal's gonna die. W or L in the chat for this take. Let us know.
Honestly, I can see it. I think dies, like I feel like that it hinges on that word. Like what does that mean? Like no users anymore, or they just like go out of business, or I guess like what do you think?
For me, it's just they fade into obscurity. Like it's not like in the same way that like like Clubhouse is not the business still runs, but like I would consider it dead, and maybe it can rise from the ashes. You know, I'm not saying that it can't come back, but it's not going to be a key player.
Right. Definitely not like as discussed or like as used.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I think your point of like there's no vision, I'm getting that sense. And like to be fair, I don't use BeReal anymore. Like I used it for a bit, and now I'm not super updated on like what's going on with them. But I think the other piece was like, how are they going to make money as a company? You know, that's like a pretty critical part of the puzzle for any organization. And if you don't get that right, you can only run for so long anyway.
Right.
But yeah, it kind of just feels like when I was using it, it kind of just felt like Instagram stories, you know, at that point, like people aren't posting at the exact time. It's just a story. So I can see it.
I say BeReal's done. It was a fad, and that's all it'll ever be.
Right. Yeah, it's like not even delivering on the promise of being real either. Yeah,
exactly.
So
like I think we can be realer. Okay, well, I'll get into this later, but I think we can get realer just by going back to more heartfelt, longer form content. But anyway.
Right.
All right. Okay. Your take, Grace.
All right. My next one is that I think Tumblr will actually become a top social media platform again. I feel like this is kind of a little bit more spicy. So for anyone who doesn't know, Tumblr has been around for a long time. It's kind of like a mix of Twitter and Instagram, where you have like but it's more customizable. You kind of have like a website essentially, and you can reblog things onto that website, but you also have like a feed of just stuff. So when Twitter was like having all its troubles a few months ago, I think Tumblr came out as one of the like top alternatives to Twitter. And so kind of saw like a little spike in people rejoining or just like using the platform again. I looked at the Google Trends for like how the search volume of people searching for Tumblr, and it like had a little spike. It hasn't been like too drastic of an increase, but it's been slowly increasing the past few months. And yeah, I think like it is like a really in between of Twitter and Instagram. I think more people realize that again. It's
Yeah.
also, I think, mostly photo content. And I
Yeah.
think Instagram had that reputation as being like the place you post photos.
Yeah.
So as they move more towards video, I could see people being like, well, where do I like have like looking for a community for photos and a place to post them? And I think Tumblr kind of fills that niche.
Yeah.
Also, there's a lot of nostalgia. Like I used to use Tumblr a lot, and I just went back on Tumblr today to like check it out again. And I was like, wait, this is like such a vibe. I really appreciate this platform. So I could just see that like, going exponential this year.
Yeah. I agree. I do want to quickly highlight one of the hottest takes I think that we've gotten in the chat, which is TikTok will be banned in the States.
Interesting.
Woo! Do you really believe that? Like, honestly, in your heart of hearts, or are you just trying to cause controversy? That's a hot one. I don't know if I agree. But
Really?
I agree with yours, Grace. I think actually Tumblr,
Okay.
I think will have staying power. I think, yeah, Tumblr, in some ways, I feel like a lot of social media has become incredibly unsocial. Like it's all algorithmically fed to us, the content now, but Tumblr is all about like creating these friendships sort of online. And I think in a way that most social platforms aren't, with strangers as well. So I think that's pretty fascinating as well. I think Tumblr could be a top performer for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Cool. What's your next one?
Cool. Okay. Well, similar to this chat, YouTube will be the best ongoing platform for creators. I simply have to agree. And my hot take is that we are going to go into a long form content golden era. It's going to be the renaissance of YouTube, I feel like. I really feel like people are getting worn out right now a little bit by short form. Number one, just like the constant scrolling, like no one wants to do that anymore, at least in my opinion. I'm getting over it, and I'm not even a big short form person. Also, I think there's something really important that we're missing from TikTok and short form, which is loyalty to creators. I think people are going to start going back to YouTube and watching the same people over and over again that they're subscribed to, because I think, and this is what I was talking about or hinting at with the Be Real thing, I don't think Be Real is real enough, but I think the creators that are at least can present themselves as real on YouTube in a long form format will reap the rewards. I think there's a lot more realness in long form content that can be reached, and I think we miss these like sort of deeper connections with content creators that we used to have when like the OG YouTubers were a thing. So yeah, that's my
okay.
take.
I see it. I kind of think that could happen too. And I think because also social media, like most people have been talking about short form just because it's a newer format and all these companies are doing things around it. But I feel like the creators that I do watch on YouTube have been making longer content. Like they've already been doing this, but the spotlight hasn't been on them in the moment. And I think like as the years go on, short form will no longer be just like this huge new like thing that everyone's getting used to. And then it'll be like, well, what are people doing on YouTube? Like, and like, I think this also goes back to like, how are people making money? And most of them are making good money on YouTube. So
yeah,
I can see this. I can see this.
Yeah. We also have another comment about the TikTok thing, which we can splice in. I do think TikTok will come under more regulations, as it does appear to be ignoring a lot of present ones. I agree. I think it could be regulated more, but I don't know if I agree with medium effective in the chat that it'll completely be banned. I feel like we would see like an uprising. Like, I feel like the kids would be so upset.
I do think like things are coming, like things are lining up for TikTok though. I don't know if anyone here knows, but I saw this article the other day that TikTok internally employees were using like internal data to like track the location of some journalists
Oh, I saw
And I
that.
think that is like, yeah, that is like the worry that everyone has had that has been mostly theoretical or like hypothesis, you know? And
Yeah,
now it's like,
speculative.
okay, they've actually been doing stuff, which is scary.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
we will see. Back to the YouTube thing.
Yes.
Megan says, I've seen a lot of YouTubers who took YouTube breaks coming back on the platform. They're all saying the same thing. I'm just going to make the content I want.
Mm,
Exactly. And I think people will actually like take to that, I can imagine.
yeah.
Like in a way where it's like people I think are tired of going after the like trending content a little bit in search terms and like the big clickbaity stuff and
Mm,
things like that. Like I feel like there'll be a return to sort of just like cozy, low key content.
yeah.
Yeah,
Authenticity.
Tina in the chat, pretty used to watching 40 to 15-minute long YouTube
Wow.
videos.
Interesting.
Megan makes want to watch Megan watch YouTube again because they're clearly enjoying themselves and it shows and it's more fun to watch. Agreed.
That's true.
So I guess my take is not that hot. So give us a hotter take, Grace.
Okay. Well, I think the next category we're doing is AI, creative
Yeah.
AI. So, okay. I think that most videos produced, not just on social media, just like in general, like any videos produced, I think most of them will have been edited by AI in some way moving forward.
Mm,
And that doesn't mean like the whole thing is like completely edited by AI, but I think some part of it will be,
mm,
just because like there's been this surge in AI tools. I think a lot of people are talking about it. And also just realizing like, yeah, why are we doing all this like manual labor to get this output that we could do in like 2 clicks or like 1 minute AI instead, you know?
yeah.
So yeah, like anything from like I know on Kapwing we have AI tools like Magic Subtitles where it automatically creates animated subtitles for you, or just removing the silences from videos with Smart Cut, things like that, or cleaning audio automatically. I think
Yeah.
these tasks like don't need to be done manually anymore. And if you are doing them manually, you're just losing out, and your workflow is just going to be super slow and fall
Yeah.
behind. You know, so I don't know if that's a hot take, but I think AI will just like continue to creep into the industry.
Yeah. I have to agree. I feel like I have my takes for this sort of goes even further.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
which yeah, my take, I guess I'll just jump in because it's kind of
Yeah.
similar, is that someone is going to code a script that produces, not product, to produce AI generated YouTube videos and all assets from start to finish
Oh, interesting.
using AI. So pretty much I think someone is going to make code a script where it can write a script, it'll put it into a like talking head generator where a fake
Mm,
person will talk to the camera
mm-hmm.
using this script. It will edit itself and then make thumbnails also from AI and come up with all of the title and description.
Mm.
This might be bold. It might be, but I'm not saying like everyone's going to do this. I could just see like one super genius or like one channel doing this and it becoming
Mm.
like a huge like debacle and like everyone's freaked out by it. Like a
Mm.
computer that's running a YouTube channel entirely by itself.
Whoa, that's wild.
Yeah.
That would be fascinating. I mean, I think you can do a lot of this today anyway, like, but I think your point is that it would be from start to finish. It's like one click of a button or like one input, and then you get all of this output or something, right?
Yeah. It's bold. It's maybe unrealistic, but it would be crazy.
I
And
could see it. I could see someone getting like this script out there, like getting this product out there. I feel like most of the AI things that I've used for video editing thus far have needed more human input afterwards. So
yeah,
I think that could be a limitation, but I could see like the thing being possible. And then you just like, you know, make sure you review it and edit it a little bit before you
yeah,
post it.
yeah. I
Sick.
think it'll be, maybe you need some human input in it, but I could imagine something like this
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
Um,
I also had a hot take about scripts, but it was more of like the writing of like, yeah, just
okay.
like the video like script of what you're saying. Um I feel like this will become like a thing that AI just does for people. And because I think there's so many like AI writing tools already, and they're just gonna get better. I think even if people have to review it, I think it's like easier to start with something than like take the time to pull it out of your brain from start to finish. So I could see this becoming just like a normal thing that everyone does.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think like, and kind of like writing across the board, I kind of feel this way. Like,
Fair.
Not just for video scripts, but yeah, like for maybe captions for Insta. Like you could start doing like, or for TikTok, like write me a caption that will that focuses on getting higher engagement, or things like this. Like I think there's so many any text.
Yeah.
Could be used like this. Yeah, my other AI hot take is an AI generated video influencer who can speak using generative technology. So to explain what I mean, I can give you sort of a background. If you guys all know of Lil Miquela, I'm sort of thinking like Lil Miquela. Do you guys know her?
I don't think I know her.
Okay, so she's fake. This is not a real person. It's generated.
Whoa. Just like, wait, how?
It's like art. It's art. It's not like generated by AI, but pretty much she's supposed to be like a influencer who is fake. This is from 2016, so it's not like using all this new AI technology, but what I imagine is sort of like Lil Miquela, but it's actually generated by AI, and she actually has a voice that is written and spoken by AI. So where you could actually speak to her like live without someone manually giving her words or like manually editing the photos of her. Like she could just sort of exist and speak, which I think is pretty interesting. Yes, Lil Miquela was in that controversial Calvin Klein ad. That's right, where I think she kisses Gigi Hadid in that video.
Wow, wait, this is fascinating. I mean, I feel like the technology is already there. Like I've seen videos of like people who are, not alive anymore, like speaking, and just like you can ask them questions and they'll reply. But I think it hasn't been mainstream technology for like influencers or celebrities as of yet. So
right. And I think it'll also be interesting to like input this influencer with like personality traits, right? Like you will always have these sort of traits or think these things are funny, you like these things and don't like these things. So it can like also have a sort of more fully fleshed out like personality when responding than just like regular answers, like sort of like Sophia the robot vibes.
Yeah, like super neutral answers or something. Yeah.
So
wow, I could see that. I could see that being like a very metaverse thing too.
Yeah. So that's my hot take
for there. Nice, cool. Okay, next category is creator monetization. How will creators actually make money? Do you want to go first or should I go?
Oh wait, real quick first.
Oh yes.
Megan says AI models is going to be big and used to perform diversity hiring. A person of color AI model instead of a real human. Whoa, that's pretty interesting and pretty saddening. just pay people. But okay. Yeah, go for it, Grace. You start.
Okay, creator monetization. I think, and we kind of touched on this before, but I think more creators are going to move to YouTube. And maybe I should specify like YouTube Shorts and move away from TikTok and Instagram in terms of like getting paid. Because, yeah, a lot of these creator funds that were set up 1 or 2 years ago, like I remember Snapchat had one, Instagram Reels had one, TikTok had one. I think YouTube even had one for Shorts. All of those are like expiring around now. I think they were set to expire or like end in 2023. And so a lot of these companies also aren't really doing a lot to set up new programs. Like TikTok has a program, but they're notorious for not paying well. And so I think as YouTube Shorts sets up their revenue share, which builds off of the existing long form YouTube revenue share, I think more people will be like, why am I slaving away on TikTok and getting like 10 cents when I could be making way more on YouTube Shorts?
Yeah.
So I could see YouTube Shorts pulling away because they are winning at this monetization aspect. Yeah.
Well, and not only that, I completely agree, because I think like if you're making shorts of repurposed long form video, then those views are even easier to get and they're worth more. Like the ads on long form are probably worth more, and you can have several of them in one video. So like you could potentially, for the same amount of views on TikTok, like that's all people are going to see. But if you get that many views on YouTube Shorts, maybe a tenth of them will go watch the real video that you're trying to promote, and you'll get even more money. So completely agree.
I think also, yeah, that makes me think of how it's just hard to get people off of YouTube, off of the TikTok platform in general. Like if you are a creator that relies on affiliate links or other like courses or whatever, it's just like really hard to get people to convert to those things, versus I think YouTube, that's like a known, people will look at the links, they'll go to like your CTA way more easily. So I think that was another piece of it.
Completely agree. Mine is actually pretty similar.
Nice.
It talks more about YouTube and being the money-making opportunity, but I also think I wouldn't be surprised if YouTube increased AdSense revenue share with creators.
Interesting.
So right now, I think it's like 55 and 45 or something. YouTube makes 45. I don't think it'll go down to like 90-10 or anything, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw like them start to reduce their amount that they keep by like 5% and give creators more.
Interesting.
Just because I think, it's going to be a competitive battle between all these short form places.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think we've already sort of seen YouTube starting to pull away for this reason for like live gaming compared to Twitch. Like their revenue models are just better than Twitch's, so people are moving to Twitch. If they do the same thing with short form, I think they will win. So that's my take. We have a comment that says, agreed, shorts to the long form funnel right with a click on the channel will be big for creators. Completely agree. I think and I think YouTube can do way more to make that happen. Like if you could link the like full video to a short and click it like right on there, then YouTube's getting way more watch time as well. Like they'll be happy with that. I can't see a world in which they don't implement that feature.
Right. Just like keep them within the ecosystem of YouTube.
Yeah.
I think they could also like kind of capitalize more on the fact that they are owned by Google and YouTube videos show up in Google search too. Like if they started pushing people's short form, like YouTube shorts in Google search, I think that would be like, you could pull in huge numbers with that.
Yeah. I just feel like YouTube can't lose.
Well, I will say that recently they changed their community guidelines, I think, for creators and like where you can monetize videos. Like they changed something about how early in the video you can use profanity. They changed like what exactly these profane words are. And I think it angered some people. So I think there is still room for YouTube to get creators mad, but on the flip side, like maybe they'll do better to, keep them happy too.
Yeah, I mean, also like TikTok, like there's so many words you can't use on TikTok too. I feel like it's not as bad as YouTube's not as bad as TikTok, but
yeah, TikTok's really random. Okay, my next one is, and I think a little bit separate, but I think that celebrity influencers and like brands paying these really famous people for ads on social media will become less of a thing. And what will become more of the thing or take its place will be like user generated content that like everyday people are making and getting paid for. So I guess in terms of, if you don't know what UGC is, it's kind of like, like anyone could just take a photo of them with a product and the brand might use it on their socials, might even pay them for that. And I think this year we saw the rise of UGC a little more. Like more people are trying to get into it, use it as a revenue stream, even if you don't have a huge following on social media. And people are actually making money with it too. So I think for brands, it just like kind of makes more sense. Like people are always looking for that authenticity, that realness that I think celebrities like don't really provide a lot of times. Also, celebrities are just so expensive. Like paying a really famous person for one image on Instagram is going to be like a ton of money, you know, when you could get a lot more content for less with like real people and just like generate that support from your actual product community. So I can see the tables turning for that.
Yeah. Well, we have some agreement in the chat. Seeing more and more of this already. Yeah, definitely seeing more of this. And yeah, I think this is right. I just don't know if like, I mean, I'm not using any analytics to back up this claim, so I have no idea. But I don't know. I feel like people are probably catching on now. I mean, this is obvious, but like that social media creators who are famous or celebrities, like they don't care about the products. Like it's not helpful. Their reviews aren't helpful, and they're not legitimate. So yeah, I think having a more like natural vibe in content.
Right. I also kind of feel like the term influencer and like identifying as an influencer is a little bit cringy now. Like it's become more of a meme of like, oh, you're an influencer. Like how many followers do you have? Like what do you post? So I think like as people jump on that feeling, people will stop identifying as that. Like more people are identifying as like content creator as opposed to like video influencer, like YouTube influencer or whatever.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, Megan has a note here. Collabs between real celebs and TikTok celebs like Megan Trainor and that one guy. I actually know what you're talking about. His name is like Chris or something, right?
Yeah. Chris Olsen or whatever.
We all know.
Yeah. Apparently they grew up together and they're like real friends. But yes, I completely agree. Like that vibe of like everyday people, like the celebs are just like us. Like they'll be trying to do more like that. Cool. My hot take for creator monetization is, I know this already exists a lot, but my hot take is that like everyone is going to be an Amazon affiliate pretty much. Yeah, I think like using shoppable affiliate links where, you know, if you're wearing something in a video and someone likes it, you'll link it in the description. If all your cameras that you use, people might be interested in, link it in the description. Like you will practically have, like the opposite of an Amazon wish list where you have all of the things that you use in your videos just in the description. And I think that will be a huge money-making potential. Just because like people already do that. Like if you like something that someone's wearing or whatever, you're gonna buy it. So why not like, and I think people will also like, viewers will be receptive to it because like, yeah, if I'm already gonna buy it, like why wouldn't I support the creator? So I don't feel like there's anything like shady about it. And I think not enough people are realizing like how much money you can make from these types of things, especially if you have an audience. So yeah, I think shoppable links are going to be much bigger.
Right. And I think this is interesting because it really doesn't matter what type of content you make. You could be doing ASMR videos, you could be doing vlogs, or like more talking head, like advice stuff, and anything in the video that people see and like, they could like, there's some percentage that probably would buy it and use your link. So yeah, I think it's going to become like a thing that everyone does or like should do if they want to, you know, have passive income.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, last category here, content creation. So what will actually change about how creators and teams make video content? This might be a little bit hot, but maybe it's not. I think everyone will be using some sort of cloud-based editing software at some part of their workflow. Doesn't mean that you're making every single piece of content in the cloud using like an online editor, but I think most people are creating YouTube, or most people are creating social media content, and repurposing that content is just so much easier online with like modern tools like Kapwing. So I think it's just like doesn't make sense anymore to spend so much time using like an Adobe Premiere or like a downloadable, really heavyweight software to do these things that like other softwares can do in the cloud with like all your stuff in one place.
Yeah.
And I guess this kind of like ties to, I think more video creators, if I think they're kind of already hybrid and like very like remote, like not meeting in person a lot. But I think more creators will also like probably have remote teams, like hybrid teams, and like outsource some of these creation tasks. And so like you do need some central place to have like all your content.
Yeah, I completely agree. And also I think given that using cloud-based editing softwares, like the brunt of the actual like computer work is not on your own personal device if you're using cloud-based systems. Like if you only have like an iPad or an iPhone or like a really old computer, like you can probably get away with using these cloud-based editing softwares where you probably couldn't using like local softwares. So I think that'll be interesting. Yeah. Hello.
What's up?
What's up?
What's your hot take?
My hot take. Okay, so maybe this isn't that hot given that this is what both of us do for a living. However, I think we're going to see an increase in companies hiring dedicated content creators, content marketers, things like that. Yeah, I think even like businesses that you wouldn't imagine doing it. Like I would even like not be surprised. Like I think will start seeing things like, you know, chains of like, okay, like Wendy's, maybe Wendy's will start like in their district for their city, like they will start hiring content marketers just for like their city's stores and like marketing through TikTok and through shorts and whatever, through Instagram, like for their city's Wendy's or like for or even like, you know, coffee shops or things like that. Like I think a lot of these companies that wouldn't like ordinarily you consider them as like using content because they don't need to, like I think they probably will anyway. And I think this could even be like as simple as hiring like interns to do these things and, you know, younger folks, because I don't know that a lot of companies have the funds to spend like on a full-time content creator, but yeah, or I would not also be surprised to see like them give their employees, like their, you know, hourly employees at these like coffee shops or fast food places, like to work on social media instead, like while they're at work, just like spend 3 hours of their work day making content. Yeah,
I definitely agree. I think the thing too with like, I think a lot of people try to use a disjointed process of like, oh, one person will just film on site if it's a physical location and then pass that footage to someone else who just like it has the strategy and vision for the video. I think that is like, it's hard to make really good content sometimes because the person that's filming might not like have that vision in mind. And then when you're putting it together, it's like, oh, wait, I needed something else. I needed this other thing. I also think that people who are like full, you know, not necessarily full-time, but like working on that for that company or organization, you're more invested than just like someone who you're handing footage to and like compiling clips, you know? Like I think, and especially with AI, like all of the actual editing stuff might not, it'll become easier over time. So I think the thing that will really shine through with content is the ideas, you know, like having that vision. So yeah, I could see this happening very easily.
Cool. Your turn.
All right, my last hot take of the day. I think more teams are actually going to start creating videos in real time together. So like think of like a Google Docs where you're all in the document, like moving pieces around, writing, but for video. I think this isn't really a concept today. Like people know that like Kapwing can do this, but I feel like people don't like find a video editor for this yet as much. But I think this notion that like, why are we all like creating in a very linear manner where one person will, you know, start with just compiling all the clips and editing and trimming them, and then add the audio and then add the overlays. You know, it's like, why are we doing it piecemeal? And sometimes multiple people are involved in that process where they hand off the video to one another. Why are we doing that? We could just do it like in at the same time. Like some of these pieces don't rely on each other. Like if I was trying to create a YouTube video, I might have text overlays in mind. I think like you can start making those text overlays and like graphics and animations or whatever at the same time that you're, you know, trimming all the clips and compiling your rough cut. So I think like, yeah, I think more teams will jump on this idea of just like making the video in one go, especially if it's not going to be like such a fancy, if it's like for social media, they don't need to be so fancy, you know? Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be really interesting to see and take part in. I'd be interested to do that. Yeah, if you want to try that out, click the description. My last hot take,
last one,
is that we're going to see these OG content creators leave social media and take jobs as marketing executives. I think there's a timeline sort of on the lifespan of a content creator. I'm thinking of, you know, we've already seen people like Jenna Marbles leave YouTube. So I wouldn't be surprised if like this year we hear like, oh, Jenna Marbles is the head of marketing or, you know, head of content at, you know, like Barstool Sports or like things like this. Or if Liza Koshy is suddenly a marketing executive for, you know, I don't know, like
something
some big company.
I already saw her on CNN. She was like hosting something or like being in something like that. I was like, oh, I know her.
Like I feel like these content creators will get tired of making content themselves, and also like they have that brand recognition still that I think a lot of companies would like to hire them and will pay a pretty penny to hire like big names, even if they're like not still like in exactly their prime, like, as you know, it doesn't really matter, because I think people would still be interested in watching like like a more content that is somehow stems back to Jenna Marbles, even if she's not in it. It'll intrigue people. So yeah, I think we're going to start seeing like our content creators become really big marketing executives.
And I think this also comes back to being a content creator. A lot of times is you're running your own business. If you're scaling it up, you're an entrepreneur, you might be starting out working alone. And I think that, I mean, we've both talked about this before, like on this channel, of like, it is kind of tiring to like do everything yourself and work with anyone else on content. And all of that content goes back to like you as a person. So I think like working with other people at an organization that you care about is like kind of the best of both worlds if you're also creating content there. I think more people will realize that.
Cool. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed our hot takes for social media and content creation 2023. Let us know if you guys agree or disagree with anything in the comments.
We'll have to see how the year goes.
Yeah, we'll have to come back here in a year and see if we're right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, y'all.
Well, happy weekend. Have a good Friday the 13th, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.